Hey everyone, if you guys are new here, my name is Jaclyn, and if you're not new here, my name is still Jaclyn. Today I wanted to share with you guys my story about how I got on The Price is Right. It's like the weirdest story. Yeah, I mean, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you might have seen me post about it when the episode came out, but it was honestly one of the hardest secrets that I had to keep because there was about 3 months from when I filmed the episode and won some prizes to when it actually aired and I could talk about it. So yeah, now I finally have my prizes. Actually, they just came in the other day. There's some here. And now I'm like, you know what? Now I can finally share my experience and answer all the questions you guys had because yeah, it was pretty random. I just kind of dropped an Instagram and was like, hey, watch this episode of The Price is Right. You might see a familiar face. So yeah, let's just hop on into it. Okay, so I'm gonna give a little backstory. So grab a snack, sit back. Basically, long story short, I was in California on vacation for about 2.5 weeks, and my cousins had come up and joined me and my family, and we were just at the end of our trip. We go to the airport, and it was during a big snowstorm back here in Toronto, so we couldn't get our flight back home. So they ended up telling us, hey, you guys are stuck in the airport, or you guys are stuck in, not in the airport, that would be awful. You guys are stuck in California for like 2 more days, we can't get any more flights. It was just like, you know, one of those things when you're just ready to go home, the vacation's done, and you're like, yo, just get me on a plane, get me home, I have my life to catch back up on. And all of my cousins are also students, so they had like exams and school and stuff they actually had to get back for. So long story short, we ended up getting my brother and some of my cousins on an earlier flight, that way they could get home and write some exams. So it ended up being my cousin's girlfriend, Rachel, me, my mom, and my dad who were stuck in California. And yeah, at this point we were just kind of like, okay, what are we gonna do? We have 2 more days. I mean, it's not the worst place to be stuck, but still at the same point, like we didn't have a hotel, a car, like we had no clean clothes. But then I was like, you know what? I have like a good feeling like something great is gonna happen. There's a reason we're stuck here. Let's just make the best of it. And then we ended up the next morning, we ended up getting into a hotel, blah, blah, blah. And the next morning we were looking for things to do. And my mom ended up seeing that there was a taping for The Price is Right, and they had like tickets available. Just happened to have extra ones available the day of. So my cousin's girlfriend, Rachel, it was her first time in California. She had never seen a TV show taping before or anything like that. So we were like, that's the most LA thing to do. Like, we have to go to this TV show taping. It'll be super fun. And it was so funny too, because even when we were on the trip, like when all my cousins were there, we had drove past the CBS studios and we were like, oh, this would be so funny if like my cousin Michael got on The Price is Right, or if one of us got on, like that would be so funny. Price is Right. We wanted Michael to get on so badly. I'm so sad.
I'm gonna go left or right?
Yeah, this is where James Corden pulls in for every carpool karaoke, right here. But we were there over Christmas time, so all the production kind of shuts down and they don't do any tapings. But the timing ended up working out perfectly now because this was actually the first episode The Price is Right was shooting in the new year. So we were like, yeah, what the heck? So we go online and we get the tickets, and they're free, by the way, too, which is like even better. So the 4 of us just got ready really quick because it was like starting pretty soon, and then we just drove over to the studios. And the funniest thing too, at this point, like I said, none of us had clean clothes, so I was literally wearing a bathing suit top as a bra, and I had this like dirty and sandy t-shirt that I was wearing the whole trip. And the only thing I can say is thank God I put on makeup that day and did my hair, because it was one of those vacations where I hadn't been doing my hair and makeup the whole time. And yeah, so thank you for that one. Okay, so we end up pulling up to the studio, and there is like a huge line. People have been waiting there all day. They have like homemade fan t-shirts, and it's just, there's a big group of people. So we end up going in line. They basically make you fill out some paperwork and sign some forms, and they get your ID, all that stuff. And they end up making you the iconic like name badge and write your name on it. Name badge, name tag, name badge? That, I don't know. So me and Rachel are sitting in line. We're like, okay, we have to get on this TV show. Like, we just have a good feeling about this. This is why we're here an extra few days. And we're just kind of hyping ourselves up. We're at The Price is Right taping. So we have a good feeling. Maybe we're gonna win a car tonight. Maybe a Mercedes. Ooh. I feel it. That would be a nice touch. I don't really think we're allowed to tape inside the actual like TV show taping. So I'll keep you guys updated though. If I win, you'll know. So we're waiting in line maybe for like, I don't know, like an hour and a half-ish at this point. And then what happens is you kind of get broken off into groups, and the producers of the TV show kind of do like a little interview with everyone. So they'll just kind of go down the line and be like, hey, what's your name? What do you do? Like, are you excited for the show? Are you a big fan? Kind of thing. And just kind of get a feel of who is going to be in the audience. So when it came to our group's time to kind of get interviewed, I was like, okay, this is my moment. I gotta turn it on. I gotta like ham it up. And so yeah, that's literally exactly what I did. So the producer was like asking me what my name was, what I did. I was like, oh, I do YouTube. I like make beauty videos. And I was being like super like, oh, annoying. But I kind of got like a good vibe from the producer. He seemed to be talking to me for quite a while. So I was like, maybe this is a good sign. And then anyways, it kind of went down the line, and that was it. So then they finally start filing us into the studio. And there's about, I'd say like 400 people-ish that fit into the studio. That could be wrong, I don't know. But it's really cool when you walk into the studio. It's like everything's so colorful and bright, and it's just like a gorgeous set, and there's so many chairs, and it's actually, it seems smaller than what it is on TV, but it's still this massive, huge production. So we were just like mesmerized by that. And so the four of us were kind of walking to some empty seats, and someone with like, I don't know, a headset on, I don't know what their job was, they obviously worked there. They were like, hey, you guys can actually sit over here. We have 4 seats for you over here. So I kind of looked at my mom and I was like, maybe one of us is gonna get on. Like, that was just odd that they had selected us to sit in a certain spot, whereas everyone else was kind of picking their own seats. So then I was like starting to get hyped again. I was like, ooh, maybe one of us is gonna get on. So I was kind of just like trying to pay attention to what was going on, and there was obviously some time before the show actually started. They were getting everyone settled in and stuff. And I saw the same producer who interviewed us. He kind of walked out and was kind of scanning the crowd with someone else, and they were kind of looking at certain spots in the audience. And in hindsight, I'm sure what they were doing were kind of seeing where all the contestants were that they were gonna call up, so that way they could get like their camera angles and get like the, you know, the crazy zoom when it says come on down. So yeah, I was kind of watching him and I didn't see him look over in our direction at all. So I was thinking, oh, okay, maybe it's not gonna happen. Like, I saw him looking at other people. So at this point, we're just kind of like, it's fine, we'll just sit back, relax, enjoy the show, enjoy like one of our last days here in California. And it was fun too, because where they had seated us, it was right behind the contestants row. So we knew that we were gonna get a lot of like airtime and be on camera. So we were like, ooh, let's make sure our hair looks good, and like being super annoying, right? So then what happened next, they kind of had someone from the show explaining kind of what was going on. And they were saying when they call down the names, you're probably not gonna be able to hear it because it's so loud in the studio. So they will have like big posters and signs that'll have your name on it. So look for those when they're calling the names and stuff like that. And yeah, and then eventually it was time to get the show started. So, you know, like they start getting the lights going and the music gets all, you know, going. It was like super exciting. It was so loud. It's basically similar to if you've ever been at like a carnival, and you know when you're walking down like the main strip and there's all those games and lights and noises and there's just so much going on. It's kind of like that, but amplified times 100. So me and Rachel are just looking around at everything. We're so overstimulated, and they're telling you to like clap and like do applause. So we're like, woo, you know. And then all of a sudden they start to call the names, and I didn't even hear the first name that they said. All of a sudden I just heard, blah, 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 come on down. And then like everyone's like kind of like looking, my family is pointing to me. And then I kind of noticed there was like a girl on stage holding up a sign that said Jaclyn Forbes. And then I was like, it took me like, honestly, it took me like a good maybe 10 seconds, which doesn't seem long, but in the moment it is. And I was just like, huh. I was like, oh my God, that is literally me. So then I jump up, and I was, to be honest, I was actually quite caught off guard because I thought for sure I wasn't gonna get called after I kind of saw the producer scan the crowd. So I genuinely was so caught off guard, and like immediately my like, not fight or flight, but like my adrenaline kind of kicked in, and I was like, ah! And I'm obviously like very hyper and crazy already on my own, and in this isolated extreme situation, I was that, again, amplified by 100. So I was like freaking out. I like grabbed Rachel's shoulders. I was like, wow, we got this.
Jaclyn Forbes, come on down.
And my dad, I look over to him and he's like tearing up. He's like crying. He's so excited for me, which is just so hilarious. He's like, you got this, Jack, you've got this. And I'm like, woo, you know, running down to go down to the contestants row. And yeah, and honestly, everything kind of was just happening so fast. I have to be honest, my memories of this is very vague despite this happening 4 months ago. So, you know, I walk down and I go stand at the podium where, like, you know, you do the bids, and then you wait for the other contestants to get called down. And then it comes for the first game. Is it a game? Yeah, I guess it's a game, the first part. Like the first round of bidding. So basically they let a prize come down and they're like, here is the prize you're bidding on. And it ended up being, it was like a MacBook Air or a MacBook Pro. And at this point too, in my head, like I hadn't really actually thought through what was gonna happen if I did get called up. The whole time we were just laughing like, oh, let's get on the show, let's get on the show. But we weren't actually thinking, what would we do when we actually got up there? For starters, everything is in American prices, and I'm Canadian, so that already is just like, this is gonna be embarrassing. I'm not gonna know any of the prices. So I was like, I'm just gonna embarrass myself and be like one of those people that says something so stupid and ends up on one of those like compilation videos of embarrassing TV show answers or something like that. And it's kind of weird though, because I actually understand how people say stupid answers or end up on those compilation videos, because in the moment there is so much going on and you can barely even hear the announcer saying what the prizes are. They had, again, signs that kind of described what each item was. So I kind of looked at the lady and it said like MacBook Pro, like 13-inch, this much RAM and hard drive, and I don't know, all this stuff, and kind of like the stats of what the product was. So thank God that was there because I really didn't know what they were even saying. So yeah, then it was time for me to bid. I was the first person called up, so that meant I was the first person that had to place a bid, which is kind of at a disadvantage, I guess, at the beginning because you have no one else's to base it off of.
Jaclyn, we're gonna start with you. What do you say? $1,200. Good luck.
And then someone else ended up winning. So anyways, fast forward, it comes to my second chance up at the contestants row. They call down another contestant. And since I went first last time, I got to go last this round, which was like the best advantage ever. So round 2 starts, and the prize that they announced for this is 6 pairs of Ray-Ban glasses.
Drew, next up we've got designer sunglasses.
They're like, we've got 6 pairs of Ray-Ban glasses, 3 styles for her, 3 styles for him. And as soon as I saw them like present the items, I was like, ooh, this is my ballpark. Like, I'm very familiar with some Ray-Ban glasses. Like, this is more my, I am like the proper demo for this prize, you know what I'm saying? So they finish announcing the details of the sunglasses, and then they go through the other 3 contestants to place their bids. And at this point, it's also hard too because you don't really hear what the other people beside you are bidding. I couldn't, like, you can't really see it and you can't really hear it or remember what they're bidding. So I was trying to be smart about what I was going to bid, but again, really had no clue what was going on. It was all happening so fast. So I was like, okay, this is my moment to shine. This is my make or break. I could take home the prize on this one. So anyways, I ended up turning back. The whole point of the game is you're supposed to kind of like go to the crowd and have them help you, and everyone's cheering out numbers. So I turn, and thank God my parents and Rachel were literally right behind us. So I look at them, I was like, Mom, whatever you tell me, I'm gonna place a bid. Like, I don't even know what's just been going on. Like, I'm still kind of like unsure how I'm even standing up here. All the other contestants had bid somewhere under $900. And if you're not familiar with how the TV show works, basically you have to bid closest to the retail price of the item without going over. So yeah, everyone had bid somewhere under $900. So I turned to my mom and she's like, bid 901, do 901, 901. And she's like, you know, making little hands. And at this point in my head, I'm like, that seems too expensive for only 6 pairs of sunglasses. Like, I don't think that's right. And I was second guessing her choices. And then Rachel was like, yeah, 901, 901. So I was like, okay, you know what? They're gonna yell at me so much afterwards if their bid was correct and I didn't say it. So I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna listen to them. I trust my mama. And I ended up bidding 901.
Jaclyn. 901. All right, good luck, everybody. Here we go, actual retail price, $973.
So I'm like freaking out, and then like even my parents, they like had shots of my parents. My dad's like crying again. So then at this point, I think I kind of lost all control of rational thought and, you know, just conducting myself as a regular human being. I was literally I watched back the episode and I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? I'm like screaming and like literally so hyper. Like, I just needed to take it down like 10 notches, but you know what? I guess that makes for good TV, so whatever. But yeah, I literally go on stage and it's like the funniest clip. I'm just like, yeah, and like running like directly at the host. But anyway, so Drew, the host, was kind of saying like, oh, where are you from? What's up? And I was like, hey, I'm from Toronto, Canada. And I was like, again, screaming and being like so extra.
Remember, all these prices are in US dollars, right?
I know, I'm so confused already.
US dollars.
So I got to move on to their, what are those? It's not like the showcase, it's like the thing before the showcase. It's like the pricing games, I guess they're called. It's a variety of different games each episode, but games like Plinko, which is like one of the iconic games, things like that go down this round. So at this point, I think my game was called Safe Crackers, and basically the host Drew was explaining to me how the game worked. Again, I wasn't really registering anything he was saying. I was just like smiling and nodding. I'm like, yeah. And they kind of open to reveal what the prize would be if I won. They open it up. It's 2 hot pink ATVs. Oh my goodness! And other camera gear and tripods and cases and things like that. So I'm like, what the heck? Like, this is gonna be hilarious if I win 2 pink ATVs. And then yeah, it was time for me to actually play the game.
Stand right over here. Stand right over here. Now, the game is called Safe Crackers, right? So you have to crack the safe. Just 1 number each. And if it's the right combination, it's the right price, it'll open the safe, you win everything.
So then at this point, I was like, you know what? My mama has gotten me this far so far, so I'm gonna find her in the crowd and basically listen to whatever she says. So I'm like deking around the cameras, and there's like obviously so many other crew members and big cameras on stage. So then at this point, trying to find my mom in the audience was like overwhelming. And of course, just another fun little fact, I also didn't have any contacts left, so I had no contacts in, so I literally couldn't see anything from that far away. So I was like, you know what, this is just a day. I'm wearing a bathing suit as a bra, I have no contacts, and now I'm on national TV. This is fantastic. So yeah, like I'm deeking around trying to find one of my parents or Rachel, and I end up spotting them, and they're like shouting things out. They're like, seven. That's not seven. Seven. So I literally just listened to whatever they said. Like I had no independent thought at this point. I was like, they are going to do this for me. I cannot do this. So I just listened to literally exactly what they said, and they're like, okay, try to open the safe. So I go to open it, and then what do you know? It opens, and I had won.
All right, that's good. Try to open it up. You got it.
I remember I asked Drew, I was like, can I go hop on the ATVs? And he's like, yeah, go. So I go run, and I'm like sitting on the ATVs, and I also have like a crop top out, and like my pants were falling off me and too big, so my belly is just like out on TV. I was like, this is fantastic. So I hop on the ATVs, and I was like, woo! And yeah, it was hilarious. And then again, I think I went to commercial break, and yeah, that was that. So then at this point, the Price is Right people, the production people kind of pulled me aside, and they sat me down. They had mic'd me up at this point, so I had like a microphone on me, and they kind of explained to me what was gonna happen. So then I'm just kind of sitting there, and I was thinking about my poor cousins and brother, who at this point, we actually found out that they were stuck at their connecting flight. Like they were stuck at another airport, and they had gotten snowed in there as well. So they were like in an airport for over 24 hours, and they weren't flying out back home, and they ended up missing what they had to get back for anyways. So it was a bit of a disaster for them. And in hindsight, they could have just ended up staying in California with us and experiencing all this. So I was like, oh my God, they're gonna feel so bad that they missed out for this. And I knew that there was a little segment in The Price is Right where you got to give a shout out to people. So I was like, I'm gonna give them a shout out, they're gonna love me. So then yeah, after I had some time to just chill while the rest of the show was going on, I got brought up on stage for the spinning of the wheel, the wheel spinning. The part where you spin the big wheel. Basically the point of that game, you're supposed to reach $1 without going over, and you have 2 spins to do it. And I did the first spin, and I remember all I was thinking about when I was on stage at this point was, again, I was wearing this like little crop top, like the worst choice of my life. So I give the wheel a spin, and all I was thinking, I can't raise my hands too high because then my shirt is gonna like lift up, and you're gonna see my sandy bathing suit that I'm wearing underneath. So I gave it like this little like dinky little spin, and it barely made it around once.
Jaclyn won a couple ATVs, action cameras.
So then I ended up giving it another spin, and then Drew was like, so who do you want to give a shout out to?
That's my brother Harrison and my cousins Brooklyn Kennedy, Megan and Michael.
There you go. All she needs. Not enough.
I forget what the actual amount was that I ended up getting, but it wasn't close enough to $1 to beat out anyone else. So then I didn't end up going to the showcase, and then that was kind of it for me. So they basically said, just sit down, enjoy the rest of the show, and then once the show is done, we're gonna bring you backstage, well not backstage, we're gonna bring you to like a different office, and you're gonna have to fill out all the paperwork and pick all your prizes and all that stuff. They had said that I wasn't gonna be able to see my parents or my friends or anyone before I went to their office. So I kind of just had to like make all the decisions on my own, which was fine, but I'm like, I'm literally like 20 years old, I don't know what to do, like I don't know what I'm signing away. Anyway, so I get walked over to the offices, and they hand me like 9 different stacks of contracts to sign away, and at this point I'm just skimming them, and I'm like, I hope I'm signing, like I hope this is okay for me to sign. And they had asked for all my social media handles and all that, and they obviously they knew that I did YouTube, so they kind of like sat me down and talked to me and said that I couldn't share anything, and if I was to release any information before the air date, they would take away all my prizes. And I was like, that's all you have to say. I will not risk my prizes. Will not risk that pink ATV. So yeah, I basically signed everything, and they were explaining to me when the show was gonna air. It was about 3 months after the original shoot date, and they had said that you're gonna get your prizes once, like after the episode airs. So I was actually really confused because I never really knew how the prizes worked out at the show, like if you actually got them or if you could pick cash instead or anything like that. And basically they told everyone there, all the contestants, they were like, you can't choose cash in replacement of the items. It's either you take the prizes or you forfeit them all and you don't take anything. And the whole thing too, you have to obviously pay taxes on your prizes. So some people do choose to forfeit their prizes because they don't want to pay the tax on them. So yeah, I ended up deciding at the time to take all my prizes, the 2 pink ATVs, and then the 6 pairs of sunglasses, and then the Sony cameras and all the other camera gear that I had won. I have to say, everyone at the Price is Right team was super helpful and very patient, because I was like, I literally don't know what I'm doing. Like, I need my mom to make all my decisions for me, clearly. Like, I don't know what to do. But they were like, you know what, don't worry, you have 30 days to change your mind. So if you end up accepting all your prizes and then say like in a week you decide you don't want your ATVs, you can email us or call us, and then you can forfeit them then. So I was like, okay, might as well just take them all right now, and then if I change my mind or talk to my family and they're like, yo, we don't want 2 pink ATVs, we live in a condo in Toronto, like what are you gonna do with them? Then I can change my mind then. So then yeah, after about like a half an hour, I ended up leaving, and I had all like my paperwork that I had to take home, and I made up with my parents and Rachel, and they're like, literally, what happened? Like, what? Like, how is this your life? So we were all like just like laughing, and it was just so hilarious. I think especially like for Rachel, she had never seen a TV show taping before, and then to not only see a TV show taping and then like see me go up there, we were just all so confused, and it was hilarious, and truly one of those things that I'll never forget. So then basically after that, we went next door to where the Grove is, and there's a veggie grill there, which I love veggie grill. So we all went to veggie grill, and we had a celebratory dinner post Price is Right win. Okay, so I just finished at the Price is Right. Mom, where's my sign? Where's the sign? I got called up. I was the very first contestant that they called on down, and I won some of the prizes. It's insane. Oh my god, that was the best end to my trip ever. I have to go catch an airplane right now and head back home to Canada. I was so not expecting it. I'm like on a high right now. We just went to Veggie Grill to celebrate. Like, what? How did I get on the Price is Right? What is happening? Honestly though, it wouldn't have been possible without my family supporting and shouting the numbers. Thanks guys, this is for you. Yeah, so we just like had a feast, and then we literally went to the airport that night straight from the show, and then I flew home, and I had to keep it a secret for 3 months, and then it aired, and you guys all know about it now. But yeah, so I actually did surprisingly keep my mouth shut for like 3 months though after the show. I didn't tell anyone, and I think honestly I was just so scared. I was like, I don't want to lose my prizes, and I didn't want to risk anything, so I was like, I'll just wait and announce it all at once. So yeah, that was basically, you know, my story and my experience of the actual show. And then I've been getting a ton of questions from you guys about what happened about the prizes. Do you have 2 pink ATVs in your condo? Like, what's going on with that? So again, I don't know how I got so lucky for things to work out this way. I had actually called the team at The Price is Right a few weeks after I had filmed, and I was like, you know what, as much as the pink ATVs are exciting, I have no use for them. I won't be able to even store them anywhere. So I was calling to forfeit the pink ATVs. And then this person named Lauren at The Price is Right, who I was talking to, she was an absolute angel and somehow blessed me with the news that she was actually just about to call me and tell me that they were going to have to offer me cash instead of the ATVs, because I guess they couldn't ship the ATVs to Canada, or they couldn't find the same ATVs in Canada, so they were gonna offer me the cash value instead. So I was literally like, I will take it. I will not say no to that. And that was truly the best news that I ever could have gotten in my life. So thank you for that. And then on top of that, she actually told me that the set of Ray-Bans either, again, weren't available in Canada or they couldn't ship them to me. So they offered me the cash value for that as well, which I was like, amazing. That is totally fine with me. So the only prize that I was actually able to get was these Sony cameras, and they actually just came in yesterday, which is why I'm filming this video now. So I actually haven't even opened it up, but there's like some camera mounts and stuff there. And then it's 2 Sony, they like the action cams. Yeah, the 2 Sony action cams, which are kind of like GoPros, I think. And then there's also this little camera bag, which is awesome. Overall, it was honestly such an amazing experience. And I was actually really floored with how seamless the whole production was. I mean, obviously they shoot that episode like 4 or 5 times a week, and they've been doing it for so long. I think The Price is Right is actually one of the longest running TV shows in America, like in general. So it was like a well-oiled machine. The episode shot, I would say, in under an hour and a half, I think. It was pretty quick, like it was all like a one take kind of thing. And the team there has been so great, and even so communicative, what is that word I'm trying to say? Communicative? That's not a word. I don't know if I was expecting it to not go as smoothly, but you figure they deal with like 8-9 contestants every single day, every single episode. So they must be getting so many emails and phone calls and just things happen. So I was just so impressed with how great and responsive and timely everything was. So shout out to Price is Right. You guys are doing a great thing. It was funny though, when I did like post about it, I posted it on like my Twitter and Instagram and all that stuff. I don't think I've ever had more friends and family reach out to me in my life. Everyone was like, we're so proud of you, this is amazing, and it's hilarious. I'm like, out of everything, like, this is what you guys are proud of? Like, I can't even control this. Like, I just got picked from a crowd. But no, everyone was super sweet, and all of you guys too were like sending me the funniest messages. So yeah, thanks to all you guys for being so supportive and hilarious as usual. And yeah, I think that kind of wraps it all up. I don't really have anything else to spill. If you guys have any other questions or if I missed something, leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to kind of go through and reply to you guys. But yeah, overall, Price is Right, great experience, 10 out of 10, would recommend. And actually, I would love to hear from you guys. Some of you guys were telling me that you had been to a taping of The Price is Right before, or like another TV show taping. So let me know your crazy experiences and stories down below. I'd love to hear from you guys. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I post videos every Monday and Thursday, so make sure you guys turn on the notifications. That way you guys don't miss out. And I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!
You need to get some anger out. You guys want to give a go at making a bubble bar?
Oh my god, I would love to.
And then I want to see